I got that summertime sadness. Got that summertime sadness. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, we got that little raspy, like kind of faint Lana Del Rey going on, but you know what it is, man. Um, Hopping on a solo podcast today. I told Peter that we were going to double up on Tuesday because last week I was traveling for seminars. We went to LA for a seminar, San Fran for a seminar. Christy and I took a red eye this morning and probably have like 3 hours of sleep. But I was just like, man, I feel kind of fired up. Like I feel kind of fired up after the travel. Just like lit up the people that I got to meet, the conversations that I was able to have, and got to listen to a really great talk from someone called Young Han about networking. And I just feel like there's so many opportunities, and I've clarified a couple of things and presented on stuff myself as well. We did a dope event with Progressive Motion. We talked about the art of growing up, and that talk that I did was focused around growing up from a metaphorical sense, right? Not necessarily from like a biological, like, oh, we're getting older by age, but are you like actually reflecting on your past, your behaviors, the way you react to things, the way you lead, the way you show up as an entrepreneur, as a spouse, as a significant other, as a friend? There's so many people that utilize the same operating system that they've gotten since they were a kid, and they've never changed those things. And I think if you never change the operating system or the software that's been ingrained in you for the past 20, 30, 40 years, then you've never grown up. And I only say 20, 30, 40 years. So I'm assuming people that are listening to this are probably in their 30s and 40s. But if you're in your 50s and 60s and you're listening to GGC, let's get it, baby. I'm going to start singing some oldies. But there's four things that I wanted to talk about and things that I've been kind of like just fired up about. And even though I'm running on like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, I just wanted to hopefully just get you guys like going a little bit, right? Like, and if some of these things trigger you, you probably needed to hear this message. Anytime I get triggered, I always think to myself, like, why did that trigger me? Because it's probably hitting some sort of insecurity. But there's four things I want to talk about today. And one, there are so many people that just think it's impossible to do something, right? It's like, oh, it couldn't be me, or like, I don't think I'm capable of doing something like that. And whenever someone tells me something is impossible, I immediately just think to, has someone else done this before? Has someone else done the thing that I wanted to do? Is there proof on the internet? Because if there is, that's the easiest, like, you don't have to wonder if it's possible anymore because someone else has already done it, right? So if you're like, oh man, I don't know if I can leave this insurance job where I'm extremely fucking burnt out to start my own practice, you've got a ton of examples now. When I was in physical therapy school, that was so rare, but now there are people doing it everywhere, right? Granted, it's a little bit more competitive in major cities, but man, there's small town people that are crushing it, and literally a population is like 2,000. In a city, there's probably even more opportunities depending on where you're at. It's just going to require you to grind and work a little bit more. But regardless, people are doing so many cool things in the physical therapy space. So when you're burnt out and you just keep clocking in and clocking out and you fucking hate Mondays and your day-to-day sucks, you're not inspired anymore. You had a fucking fire in your belly and you were so ready to get after it when you graduated, and you just feel that burning away every single month, and you're not doing anything about it. It's so funny when we talk to some people. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this for like two to three, maybe 4 more years, and then I'm gonna start practice. And they've already been practicing for like 2 to 4 years already. Like, it's not like they're a new grad. There's not that many new grads that I would recommend starting a business right out the gates because you don't even know what you're capable of doing. Like, you literally need to deliver some unbelievable outcomes, develop that confidence in your clinical skill set, in your communication, so that sales is easier. There's so many of these like business coaches that are onboarding new grads, and I'm just like, why? You suck, right? Like, you're a terrible clinician. I'm not saying that that can't change. I'm saying that when you're a clinician, you're starting out, there's just so much that you don't know, right? And when you don't have that confidence because you haven't seen that many outcomes yet, it's so hard to develop your sales skills. Coming out of school, I probably took 4 or 5 courses, and I was part of 2 different mentorships, and I was actively a part of different communities, reading and research, all that stuff, but I still wasn't prepared, right? So it probably took me like 2 to 3 years to really get comfortable and speak with a little bit more conviction. So I definitely don't recommend it for people starting out. But I had these conversations with people that are practicing now for 3 to 5 years, and they say things like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start in 2 to 4 years for now." And to be completely honest, when people say stuff like that, and it's either they really, really lack their confidence in a clinical skill set, or they're just never going to do it, right? Like they're just buying more and more time. It's like, it's too scary to make the jump right now. I'll just say it's in a couple of years. And those people never, ever make the jump. And, they're going to be the same type of people that like look back in their life and realize that they just never took the risk that they wanted. They're going to be 80 years old, look back in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and be like, fuck, I lived a safe ass life. I should have just done something about it. And now I'm going to be a bitter ass old man or a bitter ass old woman. Right. And I think that's typically the difference between someone that's aging and is very happy versus someone that's aging and it's just bitter about life. The person that's happy is taking all the chances. They try to do the damn thing, and maybe they've done the damn thing, right? It doesn't even matter if they accomplish whatever they're seeking out for. It was just a matter of like, hey, I gave it a go. I gave it a try. There's so many people right now that don't even want to give it a try. They think it's impossible. It's not for them. Yet there's so many examples of physical therapists taking control of their life and essentially building these businesses, right? There's social media, there's websites. You could find so many damn examples. So why not you? Next thing I want to talk about is everything is a skill issue, right? And skills can develop. I was just talking to one of our physical therapists, and she's freaking dope. And we were just talking about sales, and I was like, hey, don't be so nervous, right? Sales is just like any other skill that you've developed in the past. And you've gotten better at other things, right? You've gotten better as a clinician. At some point in life, you've gotten better at sports. I'm like, sales is like dribbling with your left hand. It's awkward in the beginning, but as you get better and you take some reps and you make some iterations, eventually you're going to be able to dribble it with your left hand. Eventually you're going to be able to do a layup with your left hand. Eventually you'll be able to do a hook shot with your left hand, right? But it starts with feeling uncomfortable. It starts with like bad reps and realizing, okay, what could I have done better? But so many people will count themselves out. It's like, oh, I couldn't be good at sales. I couldn't be good at public speaking. It's bullshit. Everything is a skill, and you're capable of getting good at these skills. And until you adopt that mindset, you're going to be stuck where you're at forever, right? I've been a part of a room where there's 30 people in front of me, and I literally froze up, right? And now I've spoken in rooms where there's 300 plus people, and I delivered a fire speech where I had a standing ovation. Things can change. If I thought to myself I could never be a good public speaker, I would have never had those opportunities. There are times, again, like Peter and I always talk about on the podcast, where like we were scared about sales. And now Peter's an absolute savage. I think I'm pretty fucking good at sales as well. And these things can always, always improve, right? You have to think of everything as a skill issue. If you think of it as a skill issue, you'll realize that skills can develop, right? Anyone can learn a new language. Anyone can learn to play sports. Anyone can learn to get good at games. And that's all this is, just games, right? If you think of these as like random attributes and you're developing your own character, it's like, okay, my sales skills right now is a 50 out of 100. Let's build this sales attribute to a 75, to an 80, to an 85, and a 90, right? Same thing with your marketing and everything else. Some people say shit like, oh, I'm not good at creating content. It's like, of course you're not good at creating content because you keep telling yourself that, right? You keep saying that it's hard. So why would a world exist where it would be easy? A lot of these things don't have to be hard, but you tell yourself that it's hard. You tell yourself that you can't do these things. And of course that's the way it is, because perception is reality. Next thing is, have some fucking agency in your life, right? High agency. Agency is just your ability to influence the outcome. So many people are like, woe is me. Why me? And it's like, why is this happening to me? Why is life happening to me? At some point, you have to realize that you're happening to life. You have control over these things. So many people are now just like, and I see it so much with physical therapists. It's like, oh, I'm so sad. I've got this debt. I regret getting this degree. And I feel for you guys, right? Because we all have a shared common experience. But it goes back to the first point. Has someone else done what you want to do? Is someone else in a position that you want to be in? Then you know that you can actually make those things happen, right? It's not like you're the first person that's starting a cash-based physical therapy clinic. It's not like you're the first person that is, scaling a practice or hiring people. There's so many examples of other people doing this now. There's even big players here that have opened 20 plus clinics, and these aren't insurance-based clinics, right? They're out of pocket. So just the fact that, you can see these things, you should have some agency knowing that you can make it happen, because you're not that much different from the people that run these businesses. They just have, back to point number two, more skills than you, and skills can develop. And I think honestly, one of the things that happens is people get burnt out because their work isn't actually leading to anything, right? Some of the most inspiring moments in my life is when I'm working the most, and I'm working the most, and I'm working towards the life that I want to build. Whereas a ton of people currently right now, they're working jobs that they fucking hate, and they're working hard, but they get burnt out because that work isn't actually leading to anything. They're doing repetitive stuff, seeing a bunch of patients within the same hour. They're miserable. They don't get to treat it the way they want. And there's literally no benefit of their job besides they get a paycheck and they feel safe, right? They're not developing as a clinician. They're not getting into any bigger leadership roles. And even when they get these leadership roles, it just looks like they're doing more work. They don't even get work-life balance. And if you want to just not do anything about your life and stick with that process, by all means. But I think it's pretty dope to develop your high agency, right? Just realize that whatever it is that you're doing, you have some say in this. You can make some actions towards the life that you actually want to build, because other people have done it and nobody is special. So you can do it too. The fourth one is be the person that you want to attract. Like, I couldn't tell you how many people complain about some of the patients that they have, but their patients are literally them, right? A reflection of the person that of the person that they're working with. So if you're like, man, I wish like my patients would do their exercises and like I didn't have to hold them accountable all the time and hold their hand for stuff. Are you that type of person? Are you the type of person that always needs your hand held, right? That always needs so much support to get shit done? If you're that type of person, guess what you're going to attract? That type of person. I would say 95% of the patients that come through at Moment, they're excited. They love to banter. They like to joke around. They always do the exercises. They don't fuck around. They take things seriously, but they also know how to have a good time while doing those things. And that's kind of like what I that's how I think of myself, right? It's like no matter what it is that I do, I always make a joke about stuff, but I get the shit done. Like I don't need people to hold my hand. So if there's certain things that, when you're looking at the type of person or the people that you're working with, you're like, man, I wish I didn't attract these people. Do you have those attributes yourself? So those are things that you should be thinking about, right? There's just four things. Has someone else done what you want to do? Everything else is a skill issue, and skills can develop. Have some agency in your life, and be the person that you want to attract. Four simple things. And hopefully this is just like a quick, I call this like a double espresso podcast episode. Quick, straight to the point, and hopefully fires you up and gives you some energy. Peace, y'all.